Hello, everyone. I am Maha Salman, and welcome to the first ever summit on professionalization of evaluation in the Asia Pacific region. So this is the first ever virtual summit on professionalization of evaluation for VOPEs and Evalu chapters in Asia Pacific region. And this summit is brought to you by Asia Pacific Evaluation Association in collaboration with the Asia Pacific Communication Hub and Eval for Action campaign. I welcome you all to this event. I am Maha Salman. I'm the co-lead of Capacity Building Task Force of Evaluate Pakistan. And joining me today in moderation is Nazir Ul-Haq, who is the co-lead of Evaluate Asia. So just a couple of ground rules, housekeeping rules before we jump right in. The session is being recorded. You might have gotten a notification for it. During the session, we'll request you to keep your microphones and video disabled so that you can hear us better. But feel free to drop in your concerns and questions in the chat box, and we'll have a very interactive session in the end. So we would love for you to engage and turn on your videos and mics for that. Once again, I will request you all to kindly rename yourself in case your name is not appearing correct. And the last thing is that we began on time and we will try to end the session on time. It is an hour-long session. So we will hopefully have a great 1 hour-long session. Hi, Nazir.
Thank you, Maha. Good morning, everyone. To formally start the session, let me invite Kiko Nishino. Kiko is the Vice President of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association and one of the team's leader of the Professionalization Group. Kiko, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Nazir, and thank you, Maha, for opening. So good morning, good afternoon, and for somebody, for good evening to you all. On behalf of the Professionalization of Evaluation Theme Group, I would like to welcome all the participants to join the first ever summit on professionalization of evaluation for VOPEs and Evaluate chapters in Asia Pacific region. The objectives of this summit are: 1, to understand what has been already accomplished on professionalization in the region. 2, to understand the outcome of the survey on professionalization. 3, to understand the role of VOPEs and Evaluate chapters on promoting professionalization. The Professionalization of Evaluation Theme Group is one of the 8 thematic groups of the Asia Pacific Regional Evaluation Strategy. With the strong leadership of the APEA President, Mr. Asela Kaligampitia, 2021, this year, despite of all the COVID-19 calamities, became a milestone for promoting professionalization of evaluation in the region. Therefore, we are honored to welcome very distinguished representatives from the Asia Pacific region, and we look forward to having a fruitful outcome of the summit. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Kiko, for that burst of energy and opening it so well. And thank you for reminding us the objectives of the session. And now please join me in welcoming Mr. Ruchira, who is the team lead of Professionalization of Evaluation. And he will talk about what we have achieved so far. And another interesting thing will be that he will be unboxing the professionalization products. So welcome, Ruchira.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maha, for the introduction and setting up the platform to drill deep about APEA pathway towards professionalization of evaluation. This is indeed a historic moment. I'm so excited and moved with the synergy we have today in the first ever VOPE Evaluate Summit, fully dedicated on professionalization of evaluation. So let me take you through the journey. the milestones, the pathway, and also the product. So my presentation outline today, the first I will touch upon the introduction to regional evaluation strategy. And Kiko has already touched upon few things about that. And then we'll move to definition for professionalization of evaluation. And the third part would be to introduce you the professionalization products. Next slide, please. So as Kiko also pointed out, in 2020, during the uncharted territories of pandemic, we had different challenges. So we witnessed a giant step forward as a stride of magnitude size on not only for the professionalization of evaluation, but for the entire evaluation, I would say the horizon, the scope by and large. So that started with the Asia Pacific consultation, and then pathway strategy tactics formulated and endorsed at a broader consultation again. And that finally culminated into a Asia Pacific regional evaluation strategy. So if you look at the high level facts, we have 8 themes. Professionalization is one of them. 18 outcomes, 43 key action areas, and we are very so much thrilled and happy to see it's progressing very well. Next slide. So let's look at the formal definition of professionalization of evaluation. It's not really a copybook definition. It's one of our own definition coming from another, the evaluation or the association team or working on professionalization of evaluation, the inter-regional initiative for professionalization of evaluation. I'm not going to immerse much on the full context. Instead, I will would like to touch the catchwords. It's no for an individual, it's a process, it's a system, or it's a status that you will become. And there are some important points. We talk about knowledge, we talk about attitudes or dispositions, and we also talk about skills. So we all know these skills when they all go in tandem, create a competence. And we also talk about education, training, and experience, and then all the professional, the high level or the top scale professions are well recognized and also regulated by an integrated professional body, so that the no substandard professional practice is encouraged, and they work in autonomy and still bound by the code of ethics, the evaluation standards, if we talk about evaluation as a profession. And we all have the overriding purpose of advancing the human mankind, the progress, common good of people, quality of life. So that is the professionalization of evaluation. Next slide. So the first, we have come up with some products to support the realization of definition, to put that definition into practice. The first one is the integrative sets of competencies for evaluators. And I would want to emphasize on the importance here. We need competencies. Why? We need to revive, standardize, synchronize, and enrich individual and collaborative professional practice. And we slowly have to gather momentum and create a culture, to entrench a culture of evaluation. And to solidify and facilitate effective evaluation talent acquisition, we need to, by building competencies, defining competencies, will be helping the hiring arms in the development organization to strengthen and also to enhance their talent acquisition practices, and to drive competency-based training and codify learning, and to use as a career guide for YEs to help them to find their true north. Next slide. So the product that came under the regional evaluation strategy of APEA with the facilitation of UNFPA has 6 competency domains. What you are seeing in the picture, the image, are the 6 competency domains. We talk about professional practice, technical competence, contextual analysis, program management, interpersonal competence, we talk about professional practice, technical competence, contextual analysis, program management, interpersonal competence, and personal and professional development. 6 competency domains, 43 competencies, and many indicative behaviors. Next slide. So we also came up with the competency assessment pathway. So, not just defining the competency framework is not enough. That is the what part, and we need to know how part. When you define the competency framework, the next step is to assess competencies according to that prescribed standards competency framework. An objective is to propose end-to-end process to assess evaluators by using competency framework as a base, as a predefined baseline. So in this competency pathway, we are talking about how to set up the drive, the initiative, implementation practices. What are the ingredients that you need to have necessarily to drive the competency assessment process? Likewise, all inclusive. The first one is for all the stakeholders, I must say, the competency framework for evaluators, organizations, the government institutions, wise, everybody. But this is something that we need to, that will give service and help assist, particularly the organization, your VOPEs, and also evaluate chapters who can come forward to embark on a journey to initiate competency pathway. Next slide. And I will also talk about APEA Career Resource Pack. Our vision or our mission is to set up a career resource base for the WISE as APEA. So in this career resource base, the WISE should have different I'm sorry about the noise. So we are also talking about here the career resource pack for WISE. Under that, we have career development training module. And that module was tested out in different forums. And we are very happy to say that we have both face-to-face module, and also we have tested out the virtual module also during the recently concluded winter school in Asia. And career mentoring guide for WISE and mentors. This is a renewed approach towards career mentoring. Why I say that? Because why do I say that? Because there are a lot of mentor guides you can find if you want to learn about mentoring. But this is dedicated for career mentoring. And again, it is we want to narrow down the focus and also the scope further. It is for the WISE. So this is a career mentor guide for when in working with WISE, and that will be largely helpful for both WISE and also the mentors. And we have what's really interesting inside is we have included some practical assessment guides to develop, because it's not really a theory theory focused one. Even the first one, the career development training module, we work with the YEs to do something practical. You can see the career planning aspect is there, career development practice is there. So ultimately the outcome, the consolidated learning outcome at the end of the training is to come up with the career development plan. Next slide. Okay, so all these products, the three products you are seeing in one image here in a row. And finally, my request to you is to all the VOPEs who are and youth chapters who are presenting today, it's time to come forward, and we need to do something. We need to start something practically. So this resource base will be useful, because we have used those resources in many forums, and we know that it can add value, it can have an impact. And today we are seeing, even in our region, we see a lot of challenges. We see a lot of people are suffering, a lot of people are left behind, a lot of turbulence, volatility, and many issues. So the importance of monitoring and evaluation is catching up day by day. So my final request is for you to use these resources, inquire about this. We are there to help you in any initiative, and see beyond evaluations, go beyond evaluations, and make evaluations matter in the region, everywhere. Thank you very much. Over to you, Maha.
Thank you so
Thank
much. Go ahead, Nazir.
Yeah, thank you, Ruchira. I was also going to thank Ruchira for sharing the updates and the great work that Asia Pacific Evaluation Association is doing. And it's great to see so many valuable resources are out there that we can use for free. And APEA is also willing, to provide the support and assistance if the VOPEs and are looking for.
And it's such a proud moment to see all these products on one slide. So a round of applause for the entire team for putting these together.
Right. So can we go to the next slide? Okay, so as Ruchira shared, we had also done a brief survey to learn about the status of professionalization in the Asia Pacific region. And most of you were generous enough to take out time, and share updates on the status in your own country. So I would like to invite, next slide, please. Yeah, Madhuka. I would like to invite Madhuka Lianagamake to share the preliminary findings of the status and professionalization of evaluation in the Asia Pacific region. Madhuka, over to you. Madhuka is the co-leader in Evalu Sri Lanka and a very active member of the professionalization group.
Thank you, Nasir. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. So I'm here to present the summary of preliminary survey results of the status on professionalization of evaluation in the Asia Pacific region, which was conducted by this team. So as you can see in the map, we have sent out to 38 national VOPEs and 9 evaluate chapters this survey. And as you can see the map, we have received 19 responses covering all the sub-regions in Asia Pacific, including 12 VOPEs and 7 eval chapters. So these results, we discuss the summary based on the perceptions of the VOPEs and eval chapters that responded to our survey. So as you can see here, majority of the VOPEs and eval chapters which responded to our survey have stated that the number of registered members in their VOPEs or the eval chapter are less than 50. So, and most of them provide professional development services such as capacity building workshops and national conferences and journals and other publications, so on. When it comes to the status of standards, ethics, and guidelines, so as you can see in the graphs, majority of the VOPEs and EY chapters have stated that either they don't know or they don't have the status of standards, ethics, guidelines, and code of conduct for evaluation in their countries. And next, the majority of the VOPEs and EY chapters have mentioned that in their countries they have less amount of academic courses related to monitoring and evaluation, but when it comes to the non-academic courses, the majority stated that they in their countries they have non-academic courses related to monitoring and evaluation, and they are aware about them. And when it as you can see here, the nearly 80% of the responses that they have identified, they mentioned that they have identified the competencies for evaluators in their countries. And it is very important that based on the results, we can see none of the countries in Asia Pacific region hasn't any program to assess the evaluator competencies right now, and only one VOPE has stated that they have a program to accreditation and certification related to monitoring and evaluation in their country. As you can see here, almost all the VOPEs and EY chapters which responded to our survey stated that they like to use our resources and products developed by APEA. And we are really happy to see that almost all the VOPEs and EY chapters stated that they would like to initiate a program for professionalization of evaluation in future. And these are the summary of our preliminary survey, and our team hope to develop this survey report based on these survey and do more studies on this. And I would like to invite all the other VOPEs and EY chapters who haven't filled out the survey yet, please fill before 30th and support us. Thank you very much. Over to you, Nasir.
Thank you so much, Madhuka. This was such an insightful presentation. And I'm sure for all the data enthusiasts who are sitting in the audience today, you must be really glad to see all the graphs and results and all what Madhuka talked about. It's so great to see VOPEs and evaluate chapters being so active in the region and trying their best to sort of work for this theme. And they're contributing so positively. So really, thank you for that. Can we go to the next slide? So now the session is on discussion on what VOPEs and value chapters can do on professionalization. And my great host Nazir and I will be discussing all the great things we can do together and work and contribute positively for this theme. Let's go to the next slide. So to begin the session and just to give an overview of what's going to happen, first, I'm going to be discussing where we currently stand, what we've learned so far from this session, and then we will open the floor for you because we also send you a list where you've given your sort of proposed activities. So we'll talk about those activities that you've listed. We'll talk about how we can help you, how you can build on your proposals, What are the sort of complementary activities? What are the challenges, potential challenges? What are the different types of activities there are? So we'll talk about a range of things. But before we do that, let's have like a quick recap and talk about the things that we've learned so far. And just a little reminder that this session, we want it to be an interactive session, and feel free to, raise your hands, write something in the chat box and comment and engage with us. So we're really here to listen and get an insight, get ideas from you, and talk and work as a team together. So far we have Ruchira discussed with us. He gave us a very good definition of professionalization of evaluation. We talked about that. We saw when he was talking about the work and the achievements so far and the work that's been done. We heard about the regional evaluation strategy, and professionalization of evaluation is one of the themes of it, and we're all working towards it. And every region, every country, every VOPE or Evalue chapter, it is on a different level, and we are willing to sort of work together despite being differences of levels, but we want to take everybody together, learn together, grow together. And another amazing thing that we learned were the 3 different products that Ruchira unboxed for us, and those are really great and very relevant. The competency framework for evaluators, then the assessment of evaluators, and then we have the training guides and the training modules for the mentors and the career guides for the YEEs. So we talked about all those, and then Madhuka shared the preliminary results that we got from the professionalization survey. And we saw that all the VOPEs, they are growing in numbers. They have over time, they're engaging with their members. They have great SOPs, ethical guidelines, and they have different levels of resources. But more importantly, I was really happy to see the last slide where almost all the VOPEs have shared that they are committed to working with the APEA and using the products, and they want to sort of engage and work together for this theme. So now this brings us to what is the role that VOPEs and EY chapters can play together. So what are the things you can do? And we want to talk about how you can do and achieve those goals. So next slide.
Maha, so I guess I will be taking care of this slide.
Sure.
So I think there's a lot of work, that the VOPEs and the Evalue chapters can do in countries and regions, such as Canada, the US, and the European region, where the process of professionalization is more like in advanced stage. It was the VOPEs, who took the lead, and in the Asia Pacific region, considering the great potential and as well as interest. And the great work done by APEA, which has developed so many products which are just ready to use. I think we can cover the distance in a relatively short time. So here, based on discussion within the professionalization group of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association, we have listed some initiatives, some interventions, that the VOPEs can take when they go. But it's also great to see, some of them have already shared some of their commitments and as well as activities they would like to do. So in the short term, immediately, even right after this summit, when the VOPEs, when we go back to our countries, some of the things we can do immediately without, even taking too much time and efforts. such as we can initiate a discussion among the members of our VOPEs or evaluate chapters and share our learning with them, what is the status of professionalization in other countries and what APEA is doing actually. And we can also write blogs or articles, and publish them in newspapers, or we can also put them in LinkedIn, or there are other a number of journals, especially for which are sharing updates on professionalization. So we can also share our blogs and articles with them. Very quick win would be, just to disseminate the APEA's knowledge products that have been developed that are easily available in the APEA website. Another thing, small act, what we can do is develop some kind of catchy slogans, motto, or statements. We can put them as the signature of our emails, or we can also post them in social media, or we can also develop meme, to show like what is professionalization about, that can actually help in generating some discussion around the professionalization. But there are also a number of things that we can do in the short term. Madhuka, can you go to the next one? Yeah, so in the short term, we can start a series of webinars at the country level, at the regional level, the thematic. The professionalization team has been organizing webinars that are available in the website, but also I'm sure they're going to be available in the YouTube channel as well. We can also organize consultations at the country level. Regional consultation was organized by APEA a few months ago, and it turned out to be very fruitful. There's a lot of interest in the professionalization, not only from the professionals, but from other people who are engaged in development sector. We can also organize training sessions for young and emerging evaluators at the Asia Pacific level. We have the winter school, which is free. And this year there's going to be the second phase of the winter school, and it's available. It's free, and also the resources are available to be used at the country level. We can also organize workshops to use the different assessment tools, such as the competency assessment that have been developed by APEA. But there are some of the things that we can think about the long term. If you would like to engage in professionalization in the long term, to create some kind of enabling environment, so that the discussion around professionalization continues, but also leads to some kind of change. So, Madhuka, could you please go to the next one? In the long term, of course, with the help of interested groups and taking resources from the VOPEs, we can develop strategy at the country level for professionalization. And of course, it would need a lot of partnership, with the government departments who are, in the field of education, or technical education, or vocational education. Those are the departments we can actually work closely with and develop a strategy for professionalizing evaluation. We can also work or disseminate, evaluation standards, code of ethics for evaluation practices at the country level. There are a lot at the regional level, are also for different organizations such as the World Bank and the UN. But something what we can do is, we can adopt them to the specific context of the country in which we are working. And of course, even though there are a lot of courses in some of the universities, but in some of the countries they don't have anything. So we can work closely with the universities, asking them to develop courses in monitoring and evaluation, making them available for people who would like to enter the career of evaluation. And last but not the least, we can also organize mentoring program for young and emerging evaluators. A very successful program is being run at the global level, but of course they cannot respond or cater to everyone. So we can actually help them to at the country level, so we can serve young and emerging evaluators in the country. We have also received, based on the list we have circulated, some interventions, which some of the VOPEs and evaluation chapters are already thinking about what actually they can do. And I'm sure, based on this list, we can expand the list of activities actually that we can do in the country level. So I will hand it over to Maha to share those some of the VOPEs, who have come forward and share their ideas with us, and then they would lead to the very important discussion that we would like to have with our VOPEs. Maha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Nazir, and thank you for sharing these brilliant ideas. And just a reminder, this list is non-exhaustive, so you can just add anything, be more creative, mix, merge. It's all yours. And depending on the level of dialogue, your resource base, your interest in the activity, you really have the freedom to sort of choose these initiatives, work, sort of, and these, of course, these, even these buckets, these are, you can sort of scale up some of these initiatives and it can turn into something big and great and very impactful. Now, coming to this very exciting slide, which is actually the list of activities or the proposed ideas that you all contributed and populated in that sheet. So these are some of the we got really nice and different kind of responses. So the VOPEs and EY chapters, some of them are suggesting that they want to do a training for the YEEs and career development. Some of them want to do like a capacity building session for the evaluators. There are responses like consultation with stakeholders on capacity building, and their ideas for conferences and consultations. So you see a list of different kind of ideas at working on different levels with different kind of stakeholders. So now, if we can quickly go to the next slide, and then we'll come back to the slide again. So in this session, what we want you to do is that we want you to talk to us about your proposed activity. And some of the points that we would like to hear from you are that we would want you to elaborate on your plan proposal. I know that it might not all of you might have really have a plan right now or thought it through, but let's start a conversation and let's see where that goes. And let's talk about the scope of the proposed activity, what stakeholders you can engage with to make it more impactful, what are some of the key steps you can take, and how you will be able to sort of break down your goal into different smaller activities so that you can achieve your goal. What are some of the activities that you can sort of join it with and have those complementary activities so that you can ripple its effect, and how you can add value to what you're doing. What are some of the potential challenges, which is a very important topic, that what are some of the limitations that you might face, and how we can together sort of identify them and resolve them to our best capabilities. And most importantly, we want to talk about how these resources, we want to create and establish a link between these activities and the products that APEA has developed, and how we can make these products more relevant and usable, and how can these products guide you, and how can you contribute back to these products by providing your feedback. So that is another important element that we want to discuss. So this is sort of like a brainstorming, sort of a map that we're giving it to you. And now we'll go back to that previous slide. And I would request you all to sort of unmute your mics, and if you want to go one by one and start discussing about some of the activities that you've proposed. And this is not just for those who have already proposed an activity. Even if you haven't, you can still contribute, and you can suggest, and you can tell us that this is something that you will be doing in future, or this is what you're thinking. So anybody, do you want to start? You want to begin? Anybody? Can I just nominate anybody from Slava? Who is here from Slava?
Hi, I'm Rajiv Gunasekare from Sliva.
Hi, Rajiv.
I would like to invite Ruchira, who has done so much for professionalization initiative in Sri Lanka. I think he would be more qualified to talk about it, what we have done, and because he has inner capacity as well as the process that he's been going through. So I wish if he could speak up here right now to show to tell everyone the progress we have had. Ruchira?
Thank you, Rajiv. I will not spend a lot of time, only a minute or two, because we want to see all the voices around. And I mentioned that we have come up with the competency framework, and the next step for the next step, the assessment part. We also prepare the assessment path, and then to test it out, Sleva has come forward with the leadership of Asela. With his leadership, we were able to review the assessment pathway, and also we came up with this assessment solutions as a team in consultation, and we'll be very shortly declaring or finalizing the solution framework. And the next step also, we are very much we have a lot of hopes in seeing that happening, seeing that assessment process establish in going forward.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Ruchira, for that. And I was just thinking that it would be so great if you see we have sort of similar plans and goals. So even, I see a lot of potential for EVI chapters and the VOPEs to collaborate together and work together on trainings, on consultations, on webinars. And we're already doing that to an extent, and it would be really great to have more collaborations and learn from each other. So let's hear it from, what do you say, Nazir? Which country do we nominate next?
Yeah, I would say, I would encourage everyone just to raise their hand, and if they would like to share anything, any of the VOPEs, not only in this list, but we have VOPEs, we have not shared any activity yet, but if they would like to come forward and, maybe what they take from this session, what actually they can do when they go back, if they are more interested now before joining this summit. So I would encourage everyone, just to share their opinions, how they feel, if it is something worth working on professionalization in their own countries, or it is something, maybe not necessary at this level. So it would be good to hear from them. Yeah, anyone, please. I would not like to put anyone on the spot. Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through the chat, and we've got a great diversity with people joining in from Australia, Philippines, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Australia, Fiji, Bangladesh, Nepal, Solomon Islands.
Thank you. I'm Mohit Lakshmi from Nepal. Do you hear me? I am Siui.
Yes.
I'm from Siui, Nepal. And thank you for your good presentation. This survey presentation, and this is very quite interesting, and it is very important for us also to know. And just I wanted to share the one activity just we put on consultation with stakeholders on capacity building in MNE. And this is why I put this, and you know that there is a new structure of the government in Nepal now, federal and provincial level and also the local level. So there is not so systemized everything. They are implementing programs, but not in very systemized way. And that's why, so they need the capacity for the evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. It is very important. So that's why. So we are working with National Planning Commission from the beginning. That means it's from long time, from 10. That means for 1 decade in the federal level. This is a national level, but in the local level. So it is very important to do now. That's why. So we put this one. But so we need some. So that just you that Maha shared about the proposal and the resources. We need this one. But how to raise that means the resources for this, because we have to do by ourselves. That means from the VOPE. So this is a. So just I want to put you the what is the options that means what is the opportunities we can raise the resources. So that's I like to share this. Thank you.
I also want to add something actually from Nepal. Namaste from Nepal. Well, I'm glad to know that you have already developed some like products, including the competency framework and assessment tool, something like that. And well, while working with this USAID and the Cambridge International as an M&E specialist, so I had the experience of undertaking some competency and assessments of the international non-governmental organizations that are working closely with the USAID. So I undertook that assessment for 2 rounds for 2 years, and we had undertaken like that was undertaken online, in fact, virtually with those organizations. So I do have experience of analyzing the data and then coming out with the reports of the assessments. So I hopefully my experience undertaking those 2 rounds of assessments of the INGOs will be helpful to just add values to the products that you are already developed, or to improve if there are some shortcomings. So hopefully those sort of assessments also need to be undertaken at the VOPE level also. So because we do have, of course, we do have a long list of members coming from different backgrounds and professions. So hopefully some competencies, because we do have lots of experiences and competencies, and we need to have a good mapping of the competencies among the members to see where we stand at the moment. Then how we can build on with the support from this, this network. So those are the things that are doable at the moment, in addition to what Mahendraji already shared with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmi, and thank you, Bisan, for your sharing your concern and your thoughts. Just adding, Lakshmi, for we could sort of think about having different kinds of conversation with the key stakeholders, because in this evaluation and working in this field is all about the context. And you rightly shared, when these sort of issues happen, when there are conversations happening at different levels of the government, these sort of issues might emerge. So maybe, if somebody is already working and somebody in the audience and one of the some other VOPE or Evalu chapter is also facing these concerns, we can sort of link you all up and you can discuss them more and elaborate them more. So we've got a couple of hands raised. Jank Narayan, do you want to go next?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me opportunity to share. VOPEs in Nepal is closely working with the National Planning Commission, which is apex body for policy and these things. Actually, in Nepal, after this new constitution, we have a federal system whereas these provinces and local government are quite new for this area, where this evaluation things has to be aid to advocate, and this evaluation culture has to promote. And recently, we work with the NPC to develop this M&E strategy for this coming years. Earlier, it was prepared in 2016. So from this year, NPC has involved the VOPEs for internal evaluating the prioritized projects, sample selected prioritized projects. So we involve even Nepal. I am from Nepal Evaluation Society. We also involved in 3 projects internal evaluation. So here the challenges is one way is here, even we need to go for advocacy for this evaluation culture. Another side is we have to contribute for this capacity building. As well as these policy things, strategy things, these things has to be, promoted. So I think this young evaluator of the country, we have this young evaluators teams also. We have to closely collaborate to promote this evaluation culture in the country. What I think is still we are very at the stage of very preliminary stage in the evaluation things. Of course, we have a this project plan, programming, budgeting things is in priority in the country. All the levels, peoples and all the institutions are very concerned for that. But coming to implementation and this evaluation and learning side is quite weak. So how we can work together with APEA and promote these things in the country? This is need for the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. And now I see Rekha, your hand is up. Do you want to speak up?
Very good morning to all. Let me just at the outset introduce myself. I am not an expert in monitoring and evaluation. Rather, I was introduced to this concept last year only through ACOI. So since I'm a associate professor at a university college that is dealing with the undergraduate students, so it was last year, August to September, that we had the first online course in basic monitoring and evaluation concepts. And we almost educated, 100 students through 24 hours, program that was conducted in collaboration with ECOI. And we created that awareness, among the students. So that was a very good initiative, which I could take at the college level and, gave an exposure, first time exposure, not only to myself, but also to the students, and but probably the university structure is such that we cannot integrate, and it, as you said, one of the agendas of your initiatives was long-term initiative was to introduce at the university level. So since it is not a part of the formal curriculum, so we introduced it as an add-on course. Okay. So that was in first add-on online course on monitoring and evaluation. I think we really did, at least I was satisfied that I gave enough exposure to almost 100 students about the concept itself. That was a stepping stone in that direction. And I think after that, ECOI definitely got much more response and they must have done much more. But that was the way I could push forward this concept. But definitely, I think we can go ahead with those kinds of plans and do a lot of workshops or online courses, since now we have a new normal where we are doing everything through virtual platform. So probably things may be more manageable even with the offline courses during the weekends or after the college hours, that we can definitely take the benefit of such experts who can guide the students and give them, that flavor itself, that how important is this step. Probably we do not realize that everybody cribs, in one's own life, that it should have been done, it should have been done, but nobody does that evaluation, nobody monitors that. So that sense needs to be cultivated, and that I think you guys can do a lot of work in that direction. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And you rightly pointed out that, it really is, it then really comes down to, walking the talk and having that curiosity, having that ambition, having that willingness to commit and then doing it. I see Sachi, your hand is raised. Do you want to speak up?
Yeah, this is Dr. Shachi Joshi. I'm also from EcoI. I would like to add what Rekha has spoken. EcoI, as far as professionalization of evaluation is concerned, it is working closely with government organizations as well as with NGOs regarding development of a national evaluation policy and capacity building, etc. In addition to this, it is also organizing conferences, etc. Eval Week every alternate year it is organizing. And as Rekha has already added that they conducted basic course in evaluation to prepare or to rather inculcate evaluation culture amongst graduates. When they grow up, they will at least know what evaluation is. And online courses are also being organized in the country in one of the institutions of Niti Aayog, National Institute of Labor Economics Research and Development, which are sponsored by Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. From this institute, I recently retired as joint director and I was looking after these courses. The online courses were conducted in government sector also due to pandemic. So this is one change that across the globe, I mean, mainly developing countries were part of these courses. So this year it was it was accepted to be organized, which courses were, of course, on face-to-face contact. People were traveling and people were getting benefit from almost 26, 27 countries. And online course we were able to manage. Now, as far as I've written that capacity building for evaluators is one of the proposed activities which we would like to take up in EcoI. In this direction, as you know, that evaluation is changing every day. There are new subjects, new areas are being added. There is no one fixed area on which we can take people from various walks of discipline are here. So somewhere we can unite together and develop some set of guidelines on which evaluation be taken mainly for people from all walks of life who have joined, all disciplines who are coming in this direction. And also when we are organizing capacity building programs for evaluators, some coordination we can manage we can be together for new and developing areas and act as resource person for these courses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shashi. So in the interest of time, this was a lovely discussion, so many ideas, and I'm reading the chat box as well. We see a lot of motivation. So over to you, Nazir. Thank you, everybody, for contributing.
Nazir, 1 minute for me.
Yes, Ruchira, please.
Yeah, one of the things that I learned through these discussions and also the views shared, views and comments is maybe one way we are looking at collaborations and synergy is to look at a kind of a crosscut that is common to different VOPEs. We talk about capacity, and I've just seen a comment coming from Anne Stevens from Australian Evaluation Society. They will be very soon declaring their competency framework with the self-assessment, and we also have developed something like that, something similar to that, and we have the African Evaluation Network experience in using competency. So one way we can think forward is to have the common strategic pillars and work together, I guess. Just an idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Ruchira. And, like having so many people here, and there's to see a lot of interest there. I think, we can really work together in collaboration, learn learning from the experiences of others who have actually worked on it. They have worked, how they have been able to develop collaboration with the university and actually running the courses there. So also from other countries, we can learn a lot, and we would really like to invite you in our next events. Join hands together with us, in promoting professionalization in Asia Pacific. Going to the next slide. One more, please. The next slide, please. Yeah, so it's almost the end of the summit, and I would like to invite Asela, who is the president of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association, and he's pretty much, the brain behind all of this work that's happening at the Asia Pacific level. For the closing remark, Asela, over to you, please.
Thank you, Nazir. Thank you, everyone, for the great discussion. Actually, when we started, I was very happy that there was great participation. But during the discussion, I was really impressed, as Maha mentioned, in the chat, and the views shared in the discussion. It was really great, and we realized that there's so much going on in the region. This summit actually for VOPEs and Evaluate chapters, the idea was to introduce what is going on in the region, as well as share these products already available, as Keiko also mentioned at the beginning. And we developed these products over a period of I think 1 year. And the idea was not to keep them with us only, but share with everyone, so everyone can use them. And none of the countries have to start from the zero, but of course can definitely use these products. And at the same time, we have, as Ruchira also introduced, the regional evaluation strategy, and professionalization is one of the 8 themes. And regional evaluation strategy also, we really want to implement it, especially the professionalization theme. And we have a great team: Ruchira, Keiko, Maha, Salman, and Nazir, who actually proposed this summit, that we should have dialogue with VOPEs and Evaluate chapters in the region and see how we can work together. So this is the first step, and the first ever summit we organized. And I think the fruitful discussion we had today will definitely help us to go forward and continue the work we are doing. And I see Australian Evaluation Society is developing the competencies, and we are really interested to learn from them. And also Bhutan is developing, doing training, and India is doing academic courses. I'm not going into details, but there are so much going on, and Nepal is working with the National Planning Commission. How can we maximize this? So that's the idea: maximize all these efforts. So in this way, Asia Pacific Evaluation Association is really happy to work with you all. And I would see even we can have this dialogue, continue this dialogue. I don't know, availability of people, maybe every 3 months, every 6 months, we can have, common dialogue like this, and kind of a stock taking what we are doing and how we can collaborate, as well as how we can be benefited from others, learning from others. So I would like to thank professionalization team leaders, Keiko, Ruchira, Nazir, and Maha, and especially Maha and Nazir for excellent moderation today. A lot of preparation. I know that they worked hard on this. And also Madhuka for organizing this. I know that she coordinated with all the VOPEs and Evaluate chapters for organizing this. At the same time, Randika and Hasiti, who also organized the survey and coordinated the survey. Madhuka also coordinated the survey, and also supporting the professionalization team, Randika and Hasiti. And all the participants. So great participation today. Over 30 organizations confirmed and participated, and the fruitful discussion. I haven't seen this kind of discussion before regarding professionalization of evaluation in any region. So that's why I'm really enthusiastic, as you can see, and impressed. Definitely we are happy to continue this discussion. Let us know. We will be in touch with you even after this summit, and we want to follow up with you. Let us know how you want to continue this discussion. And then definitely we can make good progress about professionalization in the region, because at the moment, as you can see, only Canada has, or very few countries have professionalization process going on. But there are a lot of challenges because there is no professionalization of evaluation. So evaluation field face these challenges. That's why we want to start now, do something now. Then at least in few years' time, we will have strong evaluation as a strong profession in Asia Pacific region. Thank you very much, everyone, and looking forward to and today is just the start. Looking forward to great momentum in the region. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Asela. Thank you for summing it up so beautifully and making my job easier. Thank you for your amazing, amazing, inspiring leadership. And now it's time for the group picture. We want to capture this memory. So please, everybody, turn on your videos, cameras, and let's see your smiles. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today. It was really, really great to have you all here and learn about the initiatives. And we want you all to keep this momentum going, keep contributing, keep working, keep engaging. This is how we're all learning and sort of, growing every day, every month. And I'm really thankful to all the organizers, all the team members for arranging this. We will stay connected even after this event, and we would want to hear back about your goals, the activities that you're taking. We try to sort of set up like a follow-up mechanism where we can stay in touch and learn from each other. So once again, thank you. We're signing off now.